Yeah. Why can't we sell liquor?
That's what my
Good evening. This is the Board of Trustees regular meeting. The date is November 25th, 2014. The time is 7:30 PM on the dot. This is meeting number 2014-34. Please take the roll.
President Barry,
Here.
Trustee Carberry,
Here.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Streit.
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Here.
Trustee Desmond.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Would everyone rise, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You don't have an extra agenda, do you? Can't find mine.
Thank you. We're on item 3 on our agenda now. This is public comments. Mary Lou Harker, please come to the podium. You've signed up for public comments regarding the high school petition. Hi, could you please state your name and if you're an Oak Lawn resident?
Pardon?
We need you, that's the same for everyone. Please state your name and let us know if you're an Oak Lawn resident.
My
Thank
name
you.
is Mary Lou Harker, and I am a resident.
Thank you.
I came before this board 2 weeks ago with a petition signed by the homeowners in the Linwood subdivision asking for help to find a solution to our problem at the high school traffic. I first had gone to our district trustee after the last election asking for a sign at the corner of Menard and Linwood Drive to halt all high school traffic between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. coming into our neighborhood. He said he couldn't do it because he had a constituent on Major whose daughter he drives and drops off at school, and the only way to drop her off is on Monitor and 93rd. Of course, I live on Monitor. You see, the high school does not have a walking system for parents to drop off their students. Right now, they get dropped off at Monitor, Mayfield, and Linwood Drive, and they walk across a field. They do not have and because we have sidewalks on the Southwest Highway, which they could use, they have no way of getting those children in the front of school. The front of school is completely blocked off. The main entrance of school has been all garbaged up with bushes and trees, curved roads, and concrete extending into the roadway, and 4 huge boxes with trees, and all the parking is every which way. A total waste of taxpayers' money. By the way, everybody in District 229, take a look at your tax bill and find out what you're paying for. And talking of waste, look at all the fencing on the west side of the school. Who are you keeping out? The whole east side of the school is not being utilized whatsoever. It's got a beautiful little cul-de-sac that just certain people can use. And if you wanted to drop your child off there, you can't because they can't use that door. And you can't get to the front of the school. And the only way you can get to that school is walk across a field or go in on Austin. Years ago, I suggested to Dr. Briscoe, but Dr. Briscoe and I got along fine. In case you're wondering why I'm so involved, I played volleyball at that high school with under the AAU auspices of the YWCA for 10 years. My 3 children went there, and Dr. Briscoe and I got along fine. And he was letting me know that he was going to have an eminent domain on 14 houses on 93rd Street. And that's when I got involved doing a petition. So that was 15 years ago, and I was to present the petition on August the 18th. And Mr. Harker passed away on the 17th, so I gave it up. So now I'm back in the groove again. I'm trying to save that school, and it's been very difficult. I have taken pictures of Richards High School, Shepherds, and Mother McCauley and Brother Rice. They have the proper signage to keep out all unnecessary cars during school hours. And these schools are open campuses. Ours looks like a penitentiary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Harker. Okay. Item 4 on our agenda tonight is the Fall on the Green 2014 monetary donations to Park Lawn Association and the Courage Program. I'd like to call Trustee Desmond up to the podium. Sir, you are chair of our Special Events Committee, and we have from Park Lawn, Mr. Steve Januszewski, and a few Park Lawn clients I saw come in. From the Courage Program, we have Maureen Shields and Molly Shields O'Grady. So,
Thank you, Mayor. Are those people here?
yes, they are.
Oh, okay. Once again, we are ready to present one of our large checks to you. Again, it is from the generosity of the people of Oak Lawn through the Fall on the Green that these funds have been generated. So if you have anyone to thank, it is the people of Oak Lawn for spending their money. Brian, can you come up as well? And
Sure.
you have the actual checks, I believe.
Pass that to Tim.
Okay, pass that to Tim.
So, Steve.
That's a big check, Tim.
This check is for $16,444.19. So I'm delighted to present this to Park Lawn.
Thank you very much. Yes, I will. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. This is the one that really counts, right? On behalf of Diane and Margaret and all of the other participants, excuse me, all of the other participants at Park Lawn, I wish to thank all of you for this very, very generous gift. I have to tell you that we at Park Lawn, that we're very proud and we're happy of the fact of being a part of that wonderful, wonderful event, the Fall on the Green. Well, in fact, last year, we had over 30 volunteers from Park Lawn, and they all had a grand, grand time. When they told me this, then I realized that they all worked in the beer garden, so that has something to do with it, I'm sure. But then again, this is a very generous thing, and we thank all of you for thinking of us and the people at Park Lawn. Again, thank you very much.
Do we have someone here from the Courage Program?
That's Molly Shields. That's Molly Shields. And this is Maureen Shields,
Where's Maureen?
the mother.
Thank you, Park Lawn.
So, thank you, Molly, and Maureen is here too, I believe. So the Fall on the Green, it was so successful this year that we were able to donate to a second program. So this is to the Courage Program for $5,481.40.
Thank you very much on behalf of the program. Thank you very much for those that recommended us to be your additional charity this year. For those of you in the community that do not know, the Courage Program is 34 years old. It has been helping single moms and their children. We provide a variety of resources. We help them with baby food, formula, diapers, clothing, all the items that they need. We help them with rental assistance, financial assistance. And the amazing part of it is that this program runs solely on donations, and we've been alive for 34 years. And with this extra money from the village this year, we will be able to do a lot of good for a lot of moms and for a lot of kids. So thank you very much. We're very, very excited to get this money.
Thank you.
Brian, did you want to say a few words?
Sure.
I think it's important that the board understands everything that was done at Falling Green. There's so many volunteers. It goes without saying that Park Lawn has been an important part of the Fall on the Green and what this village board has done for the last 15 years since the Fall on the Green Festival has turned around from a pure income and expenditure perspective. This was the first year that the board made a decision to bring in a second charity, and I think it goes without saying that trustees like Trustee Desmond and Trustee Vorder, who were a big impetus to that, I think that I just think that it's important for everyone to understand that this was the highest income producing year that Fall on the Green had. We had a tough day on Friday, but we had a terrific day on Saturday, and another really good day on Sunday. So as Trustee Desmond said, it's really the credit to the people of Oak Lawn and to the village board that we were able to do this. That's it.
Thank you, Brian. And of course, I would of course like to thank the special events team who do such a fantastic job every year. Coming up, I think on this Saturday is Santa on the Green, so hopefully everybody can get out and visit Santa. So have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you. That special events committee, they are rock stars, Tim. Thank you very much. Okay. Item 5, Eagle Scout Justin Aubin's flagpole project. Justin, I believe you are here tonight, right? Yes. Okay, Justin, we are going to take direction from you. We have a video to show, so I don't know if you want to talk first and then show the video, talk, or just show the video and then run out of here.
I can talk first.
Thank you.
First off, I just want to thank the board for inviting me to talk about my project today. For those of you who don't know, I just finished my Eagle Scout project by building a Veterans Memorial at the Oak Lawn VFW. And the village was just extremely supportive throughout the entire process of planning and the construction process. And I just want to thank them for that, as well as for allowing me to use their property for the project in the first place. I really appreciate all the support from the village. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And your brother did this video too.
Yeah, he did.
And his brother is Marcus, and he's helping us on our Shop Oak Lawn Tour videos too. He's awesome.
Brother.
This was the first day of work we did. We just cut out all the concrete here, dug all the big tile over there, getting ready to dig the foundation. Alright, so today is day 2, and we just dug the hole for the flagpole, and right now we're filling with concrete just to set the foundation so it'll be ready when we want to raise the hole.
I stopped by many days over the summer and the fall, and it was really warm out here. And these guys were out here every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, working on this beautiful tribute. So I can't thank everybody enough.
Alright, so today's the day we're going to raise the flagpole. I'd like to thank my dad most of all because it's it's like as much as his project is mine. He's done a lot of the work. So, Justin, you want to finish it off? Yeah, go ahead, Justin. Come on.
I would like to welcome everybody to Johnson Phelps 01 5220 Post Veterans of Foreign Wars here in Oklahoma, Illinois. Today is Justin's day. Justin put this together, and let's give a round of applause just for this. It's really incredible Eagle Scout project. All the work that went into this. I attended very many Eagle Scout service over the years, and none more impressive than this one. Justin, when you came to us a few months ago and said you wanted to put up something to honor veterans, mission accomplished, son.
What a fantastic tribute to our veterans. You should be so proud, and
you.
we are so appreciative of that. Is anyone from the VFW here?
Yeah, the commander, Dan Johnson's here.
Dan, could you come up and just tell us what the veterans think, please?
Again, I want to thank Justin for his project. This is the most ambitious Eagle project we've ever had, and we've had a couple at the post. Not a day goes by that I don't walk past or drive past the post and see somebody new out there admiring the project. And the project will be here from generations to come, and it's definitely a huge tribute to all of our veterans. So Justin, thank you again.
Does anyone have any questions for our young, no, you are not an official Eagle Scout yet.
Oh, I just got to finish some paperwork first.
And then you have a court of honor and
Yeah.
all of that. So make sure you let us know when that will be.
I will.
Okay. And no comments? Tim?
What's next?
I'm not sure. I have no plans of which college. I don't know.
No, because you have set the bar pretty high for yourself.
Well,
I'm not sure about any colleges or job. I'm still figuring that out.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Maybe you should get in the flagpole business.
Oh, okay. One more comment.
I just want to say Justin comes from a very talented family. What you did not see on the video was his sister singing the Star Spangled Banner. She was wonderful. Thank you for that. Paul.
That's good. Thank you. What a great hope you give us for future generations. Thank you very much, and best of luck with all your endeavors. Item 6 on our agenda is a conflict of interest disclosure. Does anyone at this table here have a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to move on to item 7. This is approval of the meeting minutes. This is the regular meeting minutes, 2014-31, dated November 11th, 2014. May I have a motion, please, on item 7?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by trustee Vorder,
Second.
seconded by trustee Quinlan. Any discussion? Please take the vote.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Strite?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek?
Yes.
And Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 8 on our agenda tonight is approval of meeting minutes for the special meeting minutes 2014-32 dated November 12th, 2014. May I have a motion, please, on item 8?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by trustee Vorder, seconded by trustee Carberry. Do we have discussion on this item? Let's take the vote then, please.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan? Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes 501.
Thank you. We have number 9 now, new business by village trustees. I think I'm going to, let's start in District 6 today. Trustee Carberry, what's new?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple comments. Terry Allen, the business manager of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, passed away a couple weeks ago at the age of 54. He dedicated his life to organized labor, and just a real advocate, and he fought to the bitter end, lost his life November 11th. I just want to make mention of him. 134 has been working with Oak Lawn and Trustee Desmond on the Oak Lawn Jobs Program, and I think we have, did you get 2, Tim?
There's at least 2 that we know of, but we have the information on the Oak Lawn Jobs Program webpage for them to apply.
So that was a very, very positive thing, and he came in a challenging time, made a lot of unselfish and tough decisions to, as everyone knows, in some really in some tough times in the labor world. So he did a remarkable job, and now the new business manager is Don Finn from my district, who grew up, a long life friend, is the new business manager. So we wish him well. He'll do a great job. And also with 134, I'd like to mention 134 back in April recognized Bob Mariano for the Chicago Businessman of the Year. It was the first year they've given out this award, and they recognize it to business leaders who consistently and continually support employment of union workers. Bob Mariano was that guy. He was, and he's also he's been an advocate for organized labor, and he's doing a great job here in Oak Lawn. We appreciate that, and it was good to see them recognized. Also, I wanted to also just give a special thanks to the Hamilton Partners, and I wish them well in filling up the Phase 2. They've done a great job in Phase 1, and really excited about the finishing up of that project. It's been, by all accounts, I think Larry, you said it's one of their best openings. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
So we wish them well. We're thankful for that, and everyone very excited about that. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. District 5.
Just want to briefly wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. Wish you and your families the best. That's all.
Thank you. District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'll repeat that. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. At our last board meeting, I pointed out some misrepresentations on the facts, or the professed facts, concerning the safety of residents in the village of Oak Lawn. Some of those were disputed, and I think that there were some disagreement on the seriousness of the 46 in-house emails, between employees of this village. And there's nothing unusual about politicians distorting facts or interpreting them as they see fit. However, I must respond to one statement made concerning the training of 911 emergency dispatchers. The trustee stated that Norcom Telecommunications, and I quote from the minutes of that meeting, are getting only 2 weeks of training compared to 8 or 9 months of training the old telecommunicators were receiving. Now, I made some phone calls. I talked with our dispatch supervisor, Director Bill Villanova, the ex-police chief, and I did call NORCOM just to make sure on what exact training people get. And what I found out is, after an extensive application process involving written exams, which require an 80% passing score, oral interviews, psychological exams, a criminal background check, and drug testing, among a number of other application requirements, a job is offered to the applicant. And upon the applicant's acceptance, he or she begins a 2 to 3 week training school at Norcom Training Center in one of their 2 locations, Franklin Park or Elmhurst. Then, when they pass that and they complete that training, they're sent here to Oak Lawn for an additional 6 weeks of training here in our Oak Lawn Emergency Backup Center, which is located in the firehouse at 94th and Natchez. During those 6 weeks of training, dispatchers are instructed on our procedures and on our equipment. Only then do they take their seat at our 911 operating center just behind that wall. Training continues under the oversight of our training officer until they are fully deemed trained. And as I explained at our last meeting, training never ends in emergency services, and that includes police, fire, and 911 dispatchers. Even in their last years of their career, they're expected and attend ongoing training. Now, a telecommunicator position is stressful and it's very demanding. It's not a job for all. Hours are tough. You work rotating shifts. That could be a day shift, an afternoon shift, or a midnight shift. And you work holidays when most of us are spending time with our families. The turnover is high. Industry-wide turnover for telecommunication dispatchers is 30%. Norcom's Vice President, Mike Tillman, tells me that Norcom's turnover rate is better than the national level, and they experience about a 20% turnover rate. And I'm happy to report that yesterday, November 24th, Norcom has started a training class for 6 new employees for our dispatch center. 6 more will be entered training on December 10th. We want only the best for our community, but we are hoping that all 12 will make the cut. In today's Southtown Star, a full-page photo announcing the Oak Lawn's Art Commission, which is followed by a well-written article by Steve Mesh, who's here in our audience, introducing you to the members of this commission and its mission. I attended the first meeting and must say I was surprised with the talent and accomplishments of these commissioners who will serve the Village of Oak Lawn with no compensation. Of course, one of the commissioners is my wife, and her accomplishments are always a surprise to me. She is the ever-ready bunny. Mayor Berry instructed and hopefully inspired them to dream big, dream loud, and dream bold. And I'm sure that they will do a fine job for our village. And one more thing, tonight we made a presentation to Park Lawn, and Park Lawn serves a very vulnerable and wonderful group within our community, but so does the Oak Lawn Park District. If you're familiar with the Park District, they run many, many wonderful programs. But when I was a commissioner there, no program warmed my heart more than the programs that Park District does for the special needs children. And now their volleyball team, the Eagles, took the Gold State Championship medal on Sunday, October 26th at the Harlem High School in Rockford, Illinois. The Screaming Eagles was one of 8 unified teams to compete in state with 4 divisions, and I want to congratulate that team, and I want to thank the Park District. I remember when we would make our presentations there, I would think if my tax dollars go to nothing more to this Park District than this program, they were well-spent dollars. So thank you very much, Mayor. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Trustee Porter. Trustee Straight, District 3.
Thank you, Mayor, and I too would like to wish each and every resident of our village, and all of our employees and our former employees, a happy Thanksgiving to you and your families, and certainly wish you hope for the future. 1 year ago today, in fact, it was literally 2 days before Thanksgiving. So it was a night that reminiscent of this very night. This board, and thank you for Trustee Vorder for bringing up an issue that I guess sometimes some people believe that the more we say something, eventually it'll be true, but I would like to straighten out the record a little bit. I'm kind of appalled at some of the things that I heard from the other end of the table tonight, but the board made the decision to outsource. Some guys up here don't really even recall outsourcing 911, but we outsourced 911, and we fired 20 telecommunicators 2 days before Thanksgiving. I said it before, I'll say it again, it was the worst decision that I've ever seen this board make in the history of this village. It does put the safety of our residents and the first responders at risk every day. This newly outsourced service, contrary to the remarks that we're hearing tonight, is plagued and has been plagued with problems throughout the entire year. These are serious problems. As much as we want to downplay them, and some people want to, it took about 10 months for people to even acknowledge that they existed. They were saying that there were no problems until we were able to finally get extensive documentation of the problems. And those problems include, for some people that want to say these aren't serious, sending paramedics to the wrong address. In the case of a medical emergency, that's a pretty serious mistake. Sending backup police officers to the wrong location. Failing to send an ambulance for a heart attack victim because they assumed he was dead. Lengthy delays in dispatching ambulances and paramedics for medical emergencies, including a 6-minute delay for dispatching ambulances to the fatal accident at 95th and Cicero on October 5th. We heard, interestingly enough, and we had a little bit of a debate about it at the last meeting, there was an issue raised that the new paramedics were given 2 weeks of training, as Trustee Vorder wanted to correct the record and say, well, no, they get 2 to 3 weeks of training, and then they get an additional 6 weeks of training. Well, ladies and gentlemen, municipal employees got 8 to 9 months of training. So, and then the mayor said to Trustee Quinlan at the last meeting, when asked how much training do NORCOM employees get, she said, check their website. Well, I can assure you, I checked their website. It doesn't say anything about how much training that they have. So we can sit here and spin this out any way we want. We can try to say that we're pro-labor and how wonderful we are, but we outsourced. We took 20 municipal employees that were a member of the union, and we fired them in one night. So that doesn't sound all that pro-labor to me. So what I'm going to say is that this experiment, this 1 year on the 1 year anniversary, which is to me, again, it's just appalling. And I couldn't feel worse about what we did then and still where we stand today with that decision. I feel for those people that were terminated, and I feel for the residents who have to suffer with this outsourced service. Given the problems that have plagued the 911 center for this past year, I'm asking this board to direct the village manager to give a 90-day notice to terminate NORCOM, to terminate the contract and restore that service, the call center with municipal employees, with the high standards of training that we once had here in the village and that our residents deserve. Thank you.
Mayor, if I could make a comment?
Briefly, yes, Trustee Vorder.
Yeah, Bob, usually 8 or 9 months of training. I was here. I never saw 8 or 9 months training. Those dispatchers go in there and they're trained in their entire first year. I don't see any facts that they get that. These dispatchers will get the same kind of training under the auspices of a training officer until they're deemed competent. That could be 8 or 9 months. Okay? That's the facts, Bob. You can spin them any way you want, but that's the facts. That's all I have to say.
District 2.
Well, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and report on something that both Trustee Vorder and I said that we would do. We sat down and met with our police chief, retired police chief Bill Villanova, who is now in charge of 911, and we looked at all of the 46 reports that are in question and looked at the issues that went through them. Now, Chief Villanova is a 36-year veteran.
Former chief. Illinois.
Former chief, I'm sorry. 36-year veteran of this police force, and what I found out in that meeting, that he actually started out with the 911 and worked in that for a period of time. And asked him if our 911 center is doing a substandard job. And unequivocally, he said no. In doing more research, went and talked to current chief Mike Murray, who's sitting right over here. He's got 27 years of experience, and asked him if he is concerned with our dispatch and if are they doing a substandard job, and he said no. Then I talked to our fire chief, Chief Sheets, and asked him, with his 33 years of experience, if our dispatch center was doing a substandard job, and he said no. Matter of fact, all three of them said that they are doing no worse or no better of a job than the previous dispatch center did. And putting that aside, I looked at the 46 reports, and out of those reports, those were all, as Trustee Vorder mentioned, they were reports from our fire department. And I do commend our fire department and our police department and the people who service this emergency center in the village of Oak Lawn to look at constantly looking to improve on the services that are provided. Now, some people will make you think that our service is substandard, and I would beg to differ with what those people are saying. When they use words like fired 20 telecommunicators, that did not happen. They were not fired. They were given opportunities to interview and to work at the current 911 center. Those are strong words, and they're deceiving words. When he says that safety is at risk, well, I've talked to 3 people who are proven professionals, and amongst others, and all say that safety is not at risk. When he says that it's plagued with serious problems, I beg to differ with the facts that have been presented to us. So far, what has been presented to us for the 46 reports from the fire department, there were 6 reports from the police department, and about 3 reports that we can tell from citizens. None of them were life-threatening. Now, my concern is when you look at 154,086 calls for service so far this year, and you're looking at 46 reports from the fire department, 6 from the police department, and 3 that we can tell from citizens, I don't believe that that is a huge amount of concerns. All 3 of the people in the fire department, the police department, and in our 911 center, that's Bill Villanova, Mike Murray, and George Sheets, all of them said that dispatch always can look to get better, that procedures always could look to be followed and gotten better, and that we can always look to improve. And that's, in fact, what Trustee Vorder is saying, that when you're a part of the police department, the fire department, or 911, nobody is perfect. Errors are made. And how we review the errors, which trustee next to me on my left says that there is no formal review, I beg to differ. From what I've seen, that there is and has been a formal review, and in all actuality, there's going to be an even greater formal review moving forward. But I would ask a trustee who sits up here and represents the citizens of the village of Oak Lawn be very careful with the words that they use in trying to incite people into believing something that is absolutely false and not true. On another note, I would like to invite people. We do have the seniors that have been signed up for the senior snow shoveling. I have about 125 seniors that I still have uncovered. And I'm asking anybody that'd be interested in helping a senior in their neighborhood It's a very simple thing. If you give me your name and your address, I will match you with a senior that lives within the vicinity of your house, and all we ask is that as of December 1st, that you make it to their house within 24 to 48 hours of it snowing, and volunteer to shovel their snow for as long or for as little as you can do within your means. There are a lot of seniors out there that are very needy, and I think that this has been a very good program, and we've touched many people. And then I would like to also wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and invite the residents of the village of Oak Lawn to go out to spend some time at our green on another really nice event that's free to have Santa on the green. I know that the children of the neighborhood have really enjoyed it, and I know that the schools that participate, I forget which choir comes out and sings. Is it
Covington.
Covington?
It's usually Covington.
Covington comes out and sings.
Sword and Colmar this year, James.
It's Sword and Colmar. That
Sword
the
and
kids
Colmar.
do a really good job, and
It's 1 to 1:30 for those who want to
and
see
it's from
it.
1 to 1:30.
Yeah.
And that concludes my report.
Mayor,
Thank you.
could I respond to trustees?
You have 1 minute.
Thank you. Okay, well, what I would want to point out is in response to trustee Olenichek saying that, that there were only 46 complaints and they're only from the fire department. First of all, I've been asking for those complaints for the entire year, and month after month, I've been told there are none. Now we come out with 46 last month, just from the fire department alone. Now, there's a lot of communities, there's other entities that we serve, and that doesn't include the complaints from those other municipalities. He mentioned six complaints from the fire department. And, you know, I don't want to necessarily suggest that, well, I guess what I would say is that I have heard that there's a binder of police complaints that are kept separate and that were not provided to us. Also, a former dispatcher wrote that they were ordered to shred any complaints. So there's been a systematic effort to conceal the problems with the 911 center
If you
from
can produce
this
any
board,
document like
from
that.
these board
And
members.
your 1 minute's up, sir.
Mayor,
Okay.
may I reply?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Trustee Straight uses deceiving words again. Complaints, concerns, in any working environment, you have opportunities to improve in procedures. It's not a complaint, and it's a concern. And what he's hiding behind is that these records were interdepartment discussions between officers of the fire department to each other. It wasn't formally brought to the director of the 911 center. That's a fact. The police department, those were fully vetted and investigated through, and that was brought through a formal process, which, by the way, Chief Villanova has put together an even more formal process to be able to fully vet that. I really have a hard time when you start using complaints versus concerns, when you start embellishing upon what the reports are. And Trustee Straight, I'm willing to sit down with you or any other trustee to go through each and every one of those so that people can understand what
Keep the
truly
meeting
they
moving.
are.
Thank you, Trustee Olenichek. And I just want to say also, you know, looking at the documentation that I received, you know, no one was really accelerating the issue. No one was bringing it to the chief's attention except in a handful of instances, and it was interdepartmental communications. So, District 1, what's new?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to just let people know about my fourth and probably final Neighbourhood Watch meeting on December 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at St. Louis de Montfort's Quinn Hall at 8808 South Ridgeland Avenue. Topics that we will be discussing will be winter preparedness, and there will be speakers from Public Works, the police, fire and property maintenance to apprise the residents on steps that we can take for the upcoming winter season. Now, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I want to thank everybody, all the people who work here, our administrative staff, our first responders, dispatchers, fire, police. But I'd also like to thank another group of people that are here at every meeting. We spend time with these people almost every day. When we pick up that newspaper and we read that newspaper, and that keeps our attention, our concentration for 10, 15 minutes every morning, I would like you to pay attention to the people that write these news articles. These are regular, hard-working men and women doing real jobs for a real newspaper. As I said, they are here at most meetings. Now, granted, we do give them a lot of material to work with, but in no particular order, I would like to thank, from the Village View, Matt Meyer, from the Independent, TC, from the Southwest News Herald, Joe Boyle, from the Southtown, we got Steve Metch, from the Reporter, Bob Racco, and for the Oak Lawn Patch, we have Lorraine.
Megan. Oh, Morgan.
Morgan, excuse me. I just want to commend you on what great work you do. You know, years ago we had blacksmiths, goldsmiths, tinsmiths. Now all we have left are the wordsmiths who do such a great job. So when you are reading that news article, just take a look at that heading and thank those men and women for writing these articles. Thank you.
Thanks, Trustee Desmond. Very positive as always, sir. Item 10 on our agenda is the Village Manager's Report. Item A is the 2014 Infrastructure and Improvement Program. The floor is yours, Manager Deacon.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. If I may, I'd like to move B first and bring to the podium two gentlemen I'd like to introduce to you. If Kyle and Larry, if you could approach the podium, please. I'd like to introduce to you Larry White and also Kyle Malador from the firm of Chapman and Cutler. Mayor and Board, their firm, along with their colleague Tim McGree, who's not here tonight because Tim McGree has decided to retire effective December 31st, but these have been the folks behind the scenes that have been carrying the Oak Lawn Regional Water System to its successful construction stage at this point. It's been a long haul. They've done an outstanding job. But in that process, through the years, the Securities and Exchange Commission has identified and has come up with a federal program that is called the Municipal Continuing Disclosure Cooperation Program, and that requires municipalities like Oak Lawn to disclose statements and significant financial data for the bond community, those that are buyers, those who are representing municipalities. And under my responsibility, I thought it would be nice for you to meet Larry and Kyle, ask them any questions, but for the RIPE fee, fixed fee of $2,000, I am going to recommend that we engage them. They will be assisting Brian and Brian's staff so that we secure full compliance and disclosure of all financial information regarding this project, which is a highly complex $171 million project representing Oak Lawn and 12 municipalities and distributing billions of water every year to men and women of 400,000 households in the general area. Any questions the board have? Other than that, just recommending approval of their fixed fee agreement for $2,000 to assist Brian in disclosure.
Okay,
Need a motion for that, Larry?
I do, and then if there's any questions, Larry and
Are there any
Kyle would
questions? I'm Larry White with Chapman and Cutler. My associate Kyle Malador. We're both here to answer any questions.
Thank you. So are you making that motion, trustee?
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Properly moved by trustee Warder, seconded by Bob Strite. Any discussion? Okay, let's take the vote.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Strite?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
And Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor and
Motion
Board.
passes.
John, Kyle, thank you for your service, too, to the village.
Thank you for coming out
Mayor,
tonight.
members
Happy
of the Board of
Thanksgiving.
Trustees. Thank you.
Mayor, item B, listed as A, is just an update. We deferred this presentation from the last meeting, and this is the 2014 infrastructure improvements. Last time we showed you private sector improvements. These are all the projects under your leadership that have been achieved in the current calendar year, fiscal year 2014. Thank you.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy, I'm alone if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, I'm alone if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, I'm alone if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, I'm alone if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got, don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy, I'm alone if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, I'm alone if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, I'm alone if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, I'm alone if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't run. Bring me down, love is too high. Bring me down, can't run. Bring me down, I said. Bring me down, can't run. Bring me down, love is too high. Bring me down, can't run. Bring me down, I said. Because I'm happy.
Thank you, Steve and Oscar and board. Again, that's just a brief snapshot of a lot of work, a lot of concrete, a lot of pipe work, a lot of conduit, and a lot of outstanding craftsmanship by a lot of contractors in this community, many of which are Oak Lawn residents in the trades, and I thank them for bettering our community. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Very, very nice. We have item 11. And the Harker pumping station we saw being redone. Mrs. Harker, any relation? That was your father-in-law. So Mrs. Harker is saying it was her father-in-law who ran a hose from Chicago in the middle of winter, from Oak Lawn to Chicago. Do you want to come and tell that story at the podium real quick? Just briefly, though. Thank you.
God bless you.
How proud he would be to see that magnificent pumping station.
He was incredible. He was also the police chief.
He died at the early age of 51. He was police chief and fire chief. And when the village wells went dry, Mayor Brandt called my father-in-law up and said, "We've got to get some water here." And so Chief Harker called all his men. He was his 12th district, whatever he was, fire marshal, I think they call him. And he called them all up and he says, "Bring your rigs, bring your hose, bring your coats, because you're going to freeze." It was a bitter of winter, like I said, below zero. And they went from, I'm not sure if it's the 95th Street Station or the 103rd. It's in the history.
103rd.
And 103rd. And they dug a ditch and buried their hose and laid straw on top of that. And each connection was, there was a truck and a fire chief watching that connection. And they brought Chicago water to Oak Lawn.
What a wonderful story.
Because I'm a local historian, I have to keep all those facts.
That's an incredible story. Thank you for sharing it, and thank you for being here tonight. Okay, item 11 is ordinance 143473. This is an ordinance amending certain provisions of Title IX, Chapter 4, Section 2 of the Oak Lawn Village Code entitled Water Rates and Charges. May I have a motion, please, on item 11?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by trustee Carberry,
Second.
seconded by trustee Desmond. Any discussion on this item? Okay, let's take the vote, please.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit? Yes. Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 12 on our agenda this evening is ordinance 143474. This is an ordinance authorizing and providing for the issue of not to exceed $20 million regional water system revenue bonds revolving line of credit, Series 2014 of the Village of Oak Lawn, Cook County, Illinois, for the purpose of constructing improvements to the existing regional system of said village and refunding the waterworks system revenue bonds revolving line of credit Series 2013 incorporating a certain previously adopted ordinance and other documents prescribing all the details of said bonds and providing for the repayment or refunding of said bonds through revenues of said system and refunding bonds or other obligations payable from any such revenues and also providing for the extension of said revolving line of credit, Series 2013. May I have a motion on item 12? Properly moved by trustee Carberry,
Second.
seconded by trustee Vorder. Any discussion?
Mayor, if I could just briefly,
Thank you.
once again, this speaks highly of the board and our community. We went out to the market and received proposals with the assistance of our professional financial advisor. And we had many fine banks from the greater Chicago area that submitted proposal. The one that is the lowest interest rate is from Northern Trust, although we had, as I said, I would want to recognize fine banks like Fifth Third, like Wintrust, BMO Markets that did also express an interest, PNC. But Northern Trust is certainly one of the finer banks in the greater Chicago area. This financing, the $171 million that I mentioned, our hope is to get the state of Illinois through federal funding to finance through low interest loans the entire project. Do you recall, as we move on the construction of the Harker pumping station, the Wright station, those projects in the magnitude of 13 million and 27 million and change are approved projects. This allows the flexibility in between those loans, which are at a very, very low rate. This is also at a lower rate. And the rate is, 1.3% or lower, depending on the market, with the LIBOR rate, and plus 60 to 90 basis points. We're also around the 1% interest rate, plus or minus. So we're fortunate, and I would ask for support to approve this.
Thank you. Any other discussion on item 12? Okay, then let's call the vote, please.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're on item 13, ordinance 143475. This is an ordinance amending Title I, Chapter 9A, Section 4 of the Oak Lawn Village Code pertaining to the powers and duties of the village manager. May I have a motion on item 13,
Motion to
please?
approve.
Properly moved by trustee Carberry,
Second.
seconded by trustee Desmond. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, Mayor.
Bob?
Thank you. At the last board meeting, which was on November 11th, I stated that for over a year now, that I have expressed concerns about the village manager entering into service contracts without board approval. Now, the village manager routinely and unilaterally enters into contracts encumbering the taxpayers of Oak Lawn. I believe the problem with this unchecked government spending is that sooner or later, you run out of other people's money. As elected officials of Oak Lawn, we are entrusted with the responsibility to oversee this government. The village attorney recently informed me that there is a clear ambiguity in the village code regarding service contracts. At that meeting, I specifically asked that three ordinances be added to the agenda for, that would be tonight's meeting, limiting the manager's spending authority, which would essentially provide for greater ethics and transparency. On Thursday, November 20th, Trustee Quinlan and I requested that these ordinances be placed on tonight's agenda. The village manager sent an email indicating that our request was too late to be placed on the agenda. So too late to consider an ordinance limiting this manager's spending authority. But to my surprise and disappointment, when I received tonight's agenda, I found the ordinance that we're addressing right now, and that is an ordinance expanding the manager's spending authority. Given the lack of fiscal accountability that we have witnessed this past year, there's no question that this is an assault and an insult to the people of Oak Lawn and to the principle of greater ethics and transparency. So what I would like to know is which two trustees, Mr. Manager, asked that this item be placed on the agenda?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Trustee Carberry.
Yeah, if I could respond. I actually,
Please.
Bob, after your comments, they seemed very reasonable at our last meeting. So I called our attorneys and our village manager, and similar to what you said, the answer was the same, that there needed to be, and actually the verbiage is, it's a very simple change, but we needed to make a change to it to include services. And we had a legislative meeting. It was posted. You were welcome to attend. And you could have, you could have your input. But actually, you were the one that drove this, and you're the reason we're doing it. Obviously, a town this size, we have to have, our village manager has to be entrusted to, there's emergencies, they have to be able to procure services. And we can't have an emergency meeting every time there's an issue. You have to have the ability to operate the village. So that's what we agreed on. I would have loved for you to have been there. You can go to there, if you have something you want to put on the agenda for our next meeting, by all means. But you're the reason we're voting on this tonight.
Madam Mayor, may I?
Yes, Trustee Olejniczak.
And that's just for clarity. Excuse me, Alex.
That's-
It was just to give a little clarity. And what's the verbiage change in here?
We added the word services, right?
Yes.
Added the word services, which, just to give it a little, some clarity. But I feel, and I hope the rest of the board feels, that our village manager of a town this size deserves the ability to procure services, to run the town. We can't have an emergency meeting every time we have to get it approved.
Okay, thank you. Are you done, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, Alex?
Madam Mayor, on the history, going back to my notes of being on the village board, on Tuesday, March 14th, if you check the village board meeting minutes, you'll find that we had an ordinance that actually went from limiting the village manager spending. The interpretation of president of board at that time was if it was over $500, it limited to it. The recommendation of staff at the board was to increase it to $20,000. And Trustee Strite was a member of the board at that time and voted to increase the ability for the village manager to go up to the $20,000 level. Now, in that time between 2006 and now, we've had many different things that have happened, from microbursts that have come through the village, in which the village manager had to make decisions on public safety and be able to provide services that were well over, 10, 15, and pushing $20,000. To in one of the trustees' district, there was a water main that broke on a very difficult winter night that jeopardized the water to the neighborhood and also our complete water system, that there had to be decisions that were made. And that is why the village manager has the ability to do that in running a municipality this size. And by the way, at that time, the person on staff making the recommendation was to put the village into line with what the state code stated. So again, we're going through the positioning of a certain trustee that it was 2006 up to now is okay, but now there's something that's moving forward on it, so now there's going to be a contrived controversy because of something that he perceives as being bad, which he voted for 2006.
Okay.
Mayor, I know, I'd like to respond, but I understand other trustees would like to make comments, but I'd like to have an opportunity to respond to those.
You can
I can
go
do that?
ahead.
Okay, thank you. Well, one of the things that is driving my recommendation is, first of all, the village manager has authorized millions of dollars in spending to be spent fighting with our firefighters. And I don't think that's ever been really a discussion that we've had amongst this board. The village manager allowed Hamilton Partners to select the broker for the 111th Street, 111th and Cicero property, and those brokerage fees will be paid for by the taxpayers of Oak Lawn. That was never anything that came before this board. There was a tollway landscaping project at 95th Street in the tollway, $19,300. That never came before this board. And I could go on and on and on. There's all kinds of things. And these are not emergencies. These are things that, quite frankly, there would be plenty of time to bring these before the board to have a discussion. But this board, I think the manager has, I suppose, has the tacit support or approval by the members. I know Trustee Carberry suggests that he needs that spending authority, but I would really challenge whether or not he knows exactly what is spent on a regular basis without any discussion. Now, maybe you have a discussion with the manager. I know that is not something that I have. So I think in the name of ethics and transparency, to say that we have to do this on an emergency basis. These are not emergencies. These are things that the public has a right to know. And I think many of these things, I don't think that we want the public to know that we're spent $19,300 for landscaping at 95th and the tollway. Or I don't think we want the public to know that a 911 memorial that was supposed to be funded with private donations, that $35,000 was taken from the drug confiscation fund and used to pay for the granite at the memorial. That never came before the board. And when the Justice Department said, wait a minute, no, this is not, you cannot spend this money, then the village just put it on the agenda and passed it. So
It would have been nice to hear these concerns at our committee meetings, Trustee Straight.
Madam Mayor, when the trustee's done, I'd like to rebut.
We have Trustee Warder next, and then I'll go back to you.
Well, I just a little bit confused, Bob. You voted to authorize the $20,000 expenditure back in 2006. Okay, when we were going through a period of upheaval here, there was a total different administration that won the election, took control. We went through a whole series of village managers, I think 3. Okay, within a 2-year period of time. But during that period of time, you extend $20,000 in purchasing authorizations to that village manager. So I don't know what's changed, other than we have a professional village manager now who's spending this money. Okay, so
what's changed?
Trustee Olenichek has the floor after Trustee Warder. So
Well,
are you done, Trustee
yes,
Warder?
I'm done.
Thank you. And if you'd like to be recognized by the chair, please go through the chair. Thanks.
Madam President, just by what Trustee Straight said, millions fighting the firefighters, that was unauthorized. Well, the village manager serves at the direction of the board. There's documentation to prove that, again, that's another fallacy and false statement by Trustee Bob Straight.
Let's not name names, please.
By the
at
trustee
board
sitting to
table.
my left. Talking about the 911 memorial, and when what a beautiful memorial to the people who lost their lives in 911. But going to that, when you have a confiscation fund that sits there with hundreds of thousands of dollars of money, that all recollection and all legal direction was that money could be used for it, and then when it was put up, was told on a reversal of that. I don't think it was a bad investment by the Village of Oak Lawn to go ahead and spend that. And even in his own words, he said that it came for board approval. So you have to watch the wordsmithing of what certain trustees are going to be saying, especially with things coming up in the future, and how they want to deceive you with what they're saying. And that's a very big concern of mine.
Mayor?
Trustee Quinlan.
I just wanted to say, given the concerns, I think it would be reasonable, and I do think it's reasonable in an emergency situation that the village manager is able to hire services. So can we just amend it to say in an emergency situation?
Okay, we have a motion to amend. Is there a second?
Could we limit it to $10,000?
Okay, we have a motion to amend for emergency situations only. Do I have a second on that?
I'll amend it to under $10,000 then.
Okay, we have a motion to amend to emergency situations and under $10,000. Do we have a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, any discussion?
What would constitute an emergency?
Well, certainly not, tollway landscape.
Well, we're not talking about tollway landscaping, we're talking about emergencies.
Okay,
well.
Okay,
A
let's
water
address
main
concerns through the
A
chair.
water
Let's
main
not
break.
have back and
A
forth,
water main break
please.
that's going to cost 15,000, so we have to convene the board to approve that.
Okay.
If houses are being flooded, we have to wait until we convene everybody up here and then approve it.
To approve it.
Trustee Quinlan, please address your concerns through the chair. Trustee Desmond, you still have the floor.
Well, no, we're discussing this motion.
I know, but it has to be through the chair. We're not going to have what happened
Okay.
last meeting, please. Thank you. Trustee Streit, you were next, and then Trustee
Okay,
Quinlan.
well, a couple of points that I want to make is that, Trustee Border has to go back to 2006 to create the narrative to make this work for him. That's 8 years ago, trustee. And quite frankly, the difference 8 years ago was that the ordinance was for goods and service, goods and just for goods. It was not for services. Yes, it was.
It's
And-
vague. I think that's the opinion of the attorney.
No, it isn't. No, that's why the attorney said, the attorney said clearly, that's why he proposed, or you proposed, that they make this amendment. It's not. There was no provision for services. The idea where the manager has the authority to spend the money was because he is the administrative manager of the village, and that idea is to give him the authority to, let's say, if something does go wrong in an emergency, that, let's say a copier breaks down, they can go out and buy a copier. It was never intended to be entering into contracts that this manager has routinely done. And the contracts are extensive. If we went through, this didn't go on back in 2006. It goes on today on an extensive basis. So I think it's a reasonable request to amend it down to $10,000 for an emergency. But there would be no, if there was certainly if there was a water main break, that really, while the cost of going out and sending the guys out, the crews out to make the repairs, that may cost over $10,000. That's not really part of the restriction. It's really about the pipes and the materials, which would not be over $10,000. It's all about labor. So I think it's reasonable. It's a fair suggestion, and I would ask the mayor to please call the question.
The village manager said he'd like to weigh in.
Thank you, President and Board. Trustee Carberry is absolutely correct as far as the process that was followed and done in the sunshine, publicly noticed. In anticipation of that meeting and the subject matter, the agenda is available to the media, available to the general public on our website, etc. I contacted 3 groups that would be considered model groups to look at issues like this. The National Civic League, based in Denver, Colorado, Sterling Codifiers, which codifies codes for municipalities across the United States, and then the International City Management Association, which represents professionals like myself in the business, and thousands of managers in municipalities across the world, not just in the United States. The language that is before you is consistent with well-managed model communities that have these codes. And it includes good services. The operative word is services. I didn't invent it. It is common practice today in 2014 to have codes that have that language. And that's how nearby municipalities such as Naperville manage their purchasing function. Some communities, the number is 35,000, 50,000. I told the Legal and Legislative Committee I saw no need to raise that amount, although it has not been updated by cost of living since 2006. But usually that would reflect a more robust economy. And during this period of time, we all know we've had a national recession, so I didn't see any need to raise that amount. The other misconstrued or wordsmithing, I think Trustee Olenichik was absolutely correct. It's sad. This is not the village manager going out and spending willy-nilly money over and above your budget. Read the rest of the ordinance. It's clear. It is already budgeted line item, lump sum dollars in the budget, and I take my lead from well-qualified managers, whether they're in public works, engineering, finance, police, fire, etc. They're the ones that manage their own individual budgets, and they have these needs that come up through the course of doing business. Now, there are occasions where I do too. And in the past, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, read your tills. Every Friday, you get a trustee information letter. I informed the board. The board was aware if we had to hire an appraiser. For example, right now, there's a demand by a trustee to have certain property appraised. Okay, do I have to come to the board, okay, and state the multiple pricing and bring the appraisers under this ordinance, go out and we use different appraisers, we use different engineers, we use different financial consultants, we use Grun & Grun for the Hamilton project, we use Cambridge partners, but the board seems to forget that, certain members forget that, because that was in your package when we hired Cambridge partners to appraise the value of purchasing the Kmart lease that was on the dirt owned by J.C. Penney at what is now known as Mariano's and Stony Creek Promenade. That went before this board. It did not go on the agenda. It was in your till. Everybody knew about it, and that practice has been ongoing. It's just good practice to run an organization with language like this, period.
Okay, thank you, Larry. So I want to just circle back and get everyone oriented. What we're voting on is an amendment to item 13 on our agenda, which would restrict the amount from $20,000 to $10,000 and would also be on an emergency basis only. So we had a motion and a second and discussion. I'm going to call the vote on that modified ordinance, the amended ordinance. So not as it appears on our sheet, but as amended.
Trustee Carberry?
No.
Trustee Vorder?
No.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Olenichik?
No.
Trustee Desmond?
No.
Okay,
Motion failed 4-2.
thank you. So Yeah, now we have a motion to approve pending on item 13 as written on our agenda this evening. We had a motion and a second and discussion, and I'm going to call the vote on that item.
Could I, Mayor, I'd like to propose an amendment to the ordinance, and that would, I would like to add that we require a public bidding process for any new or reoccurring contracts with the village, in which the village is entering into.
Okay, we have a motion to amend. Again, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion here? Again, we're voting on item 13 as amended just now by the trustee in District 3. Let's call the vote.
Trustee Carberry?
No.
Trustee Vorder?
No.
Trustee Strite?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
No.
Trustee Desmond?
No.
Motion fails 4-2.
Okay, so we're back to item 13 as it appears on the agenda. We had a proper motion and a second and discussion, and I'm going to call the vote on this as it appears on our agenda.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Strite?
No.
Trustee Quinlan?
No.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-2.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we're on 14. This is ordinance 143476, an ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 3, Section 6 of the Oak Lawn Village Code pertaining to liquor license classifications. May I have a motion, please, on item 14?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved, I'm going to give it to trustee Desmond and seconded by trustee Quinlan. Any discussion here?
Yes, I got some questions
Trustee Desmond.
on this.
Mhm.
It seems a little contradictory, and I'd just like to get some clarification on what exactly we are doing here. We are, right now in the village, you cannot serve alcohol on a Sunday morning until after 11 o'clock. Now, this would give supermarkets the authority to do that. It seems a little contradictory that we would allow one business with a liquor license that serves food to serve liquor, and yet we would deny that to another business that has a liquor license and also serves food. And I would just like to give the example of, I think it was earlier, last year, we had an incident where one of our local taverns wanted to show a Blackhawks game that was scheduled for, I believe, 8 a.m. in the morning. We were not able to do that because of there was not enough time to post the meetings. Not thankfully, but as it worked out, we didn't need that because the Blackhawks.
It was the Olympics, Tim.
Was it sorry, it was the Olympics. Sorry, yeah. So I mean, how can we allow one business to serve alcohol and not another one?
I just want to read how all this got started, Tim. There was a letter from Mariano's. The manager of the local Mariano's has mentioned other retailers may begin selling packaged goods at 9 a.m. on Sundays. This was brought to the manager's attention by customer complaints. I imagine these retailers hold a Class B license, but under a Class S license that was created to fit our operations, our Sunday sales can't begin till 11. So it sounds like they're asking for package liquor, not serving drinks.
Here on the paragraph under Class S license, it says, consumption on the premises shall be of individual servings of alcohol liquor, and below that, tastings shall be permitted on the premises in accordance with state law. So it looks like they're looking for on-site consumption.
Yeah. The letter goes on, it says, is it possible for the Class S license to be revised to allow for the sale of packaged goods to begin at 9 a.m. on Sundays like other retailers? They weren't asking for the serving, so maybe we can modify it to just be packaged goods only.
It was my understanding that that's part of the parcel of what they're looking to do there is at their, I may be stand corrected, but I think what Mariano's does is when on Sunday when you come in, they have a tasting area and you can taste, and then you walk around and do your shopping, and then you can. The idea would be that you would come back and buy the bottle of wine, I think, on your way out or something. But I think it's both the sale
So
and
you
the
have-
tasting. I think that
okay.
was what they were looking for. So that's why tasting's in there, and I think That's what the S license is for. And again, this would be open to apply equally, Jewel and Freshline would be eligible for this as well.
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
when they
and
renew.
fair play.
Right, so, fair play, correct.
Yes. Trustee Quinlan.
Actually, on letter B, I think it should just end at consumption on the premises shall be of individual servings of alcoholic liquor, period.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion.
I mean, I'm not opposed to this. I'm just asking why, one business that has a liquor license is allowed to serve alcohol before 11 and another is not.
Well, the businesses that are the Class B license, it's packaged goods only. There is no provision in the Class B license to serve with tastings.
But I mean, a tavern that wants to open up early on a Sunday morning. Again, I'm not, pro or con in either way. I'd just like to get clarification.
Okay. Trustee Vorder.
Yeah, Mayor, I think there is a little confusion in this ordinance, and I think Tim makes a very good point. If I was a tavern owner and I serve food, okay, and I wanted to open up on Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, I would think this discriminates against me. I'm selling liquor, serving liquor, okay, and one other store gets to do it, why can't I? Are we, just because he sells groceries, they can do it? I understand what Mario, the concept there, it's a great concept.
Yes,
I
it
agree
is.
with you, Tim. I think it just creates a lot of inconsistency, okay, amongst our business community.
Okay, so
We,
I'm hearing a lot of, yes, Trustee Carberry.
I just wonder if we could postpone the vote. And,
Well, what we can do is if you
or
make a
amend.
motion to postpone till the following meeting and people could weigh in with, is that,
we can get the verbiage cleared and we can.
And I mean, can I just say one other thing? And I
Absolutely.
think what Mariano's are trying to do is it's I've no problem with that. If somebody is out, buying their groceries for dinner later that day and they want to buy a bottle of wine and they want to taste it, I'm not opposed to that. But I think we just need to
Tighten it up.
clarify this a little more.
excellent. Okay, so we have a motion to amend by Trustee Carberry, a motion to postpone by Trustee Carberry till the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, and we have a second by Trustee Olenichek. Any discussion? Okay, let's take the vote.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Strike.
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. So we're on item 15 right now. This is ordinance 1434-77, an ordinance approving a plat of subdivision. This is the consolidation of 5 lots into 3 lots at Stony Creek Promenade, 111th Street and Cicero Avenue. May I have a motion on 15?
Motion approved.
Properly moved by Trustee Quinlan,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Vorder. Any discussion on this item? Okay, let's take the vote, please.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Strike.
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so item 16 is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for a 57.3% parking variation at 6230 to 6220 West 95th Street. This was a 7-0 vote to approve petition 2014-29. Alan Kaplan is the petitioner in District 1. May I have a motion on this item, please?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Desmond,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Vorder. Any discussion here? Let's take the vote, please.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Strike.
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And then we have item 17. This is ordinance 1434-78, an ordinance granting an increased parking variation at 6230 to 6260 West 95th Street in the shops of Oak Lawn. May I have a motion on 17?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Desmond,
I'll second.
seconded by Trustee Vorder. Any discussion here? Let's take the vote.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Strike.
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so we're on item 18 now. This is a request for Board of Trustees approval and direction to the Fire and Police Commission to promote 1 police lieutenant and 2 sergeants from the current eligibility list due to retirements.
So moved.
Properly moved by trustee Oliniechek.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Warder. Any discussion here? Let's take the vote.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 19 is the request for Board of Trustees approval and direction to the Fire and Police Commission to hire 2 police officers from the current eligibility list due to retirements. May I have a motion on 19?
Motion approved.
Properly moved by trustee Oliniechek.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Desmond. Any discussion? Let's take the vote.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, item 20 is a request to approve the recommendation and award the 2015 supply of limestone aggregate materials to G&M Trucking Incorporated from Des Plaines, Illinois, for the delivered price amounts of $12.70 per ton for grade 8 limestone and $16.50 per ton for 3-inch limestone. May I have a motion, please, on item 20?
Motion approved.
Properly moved by trustee Oliniechek.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Warder. Any discussion here? Let's take the vote.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
21 on our agenda this evening is a request to approve the recommendation to award the contractor for the 2015 purchase of street sign materials. This is the channel sign, or the sign channel post, Vulcan Incorporated of Foley, Alabama. The aluminum sign plate blanks from Vulcan Incorporated of Foley, Alabama. The banding, Osborne Associates of Logan, Ohio. Rolled goods, Osborne Associates of Logan, Ohio, and transfer tapes, Osborne Associates of Logan, Ohio. May I have a motion on item 21?
So moved.
Properly moved by trustee Oliniechek, I believe.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Desmond. Any discussion here? Let's take the vote.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 22 on our agenda this evening is the cancellation of the December 23rd Board of Trustees meeting. We have a holiday on the 25th, and this is a long-standing tradition. So I'd like a motion, please, for that.
approved.
Properly moved by trustee Quinlan, seconded by trustee Carberry. Any discussion here? Please take the vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 23 is our village clerk's report. Jane, you have the floor.
All right. Approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2014-22D, dated November 25th, 2014, in the amount of $875,168.92.
May I have a motion, please, on item 23A?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by trustee Vorder,
Second.
seconded by trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Please take the vote.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes. One more thing, Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Got a great announcement tonight, on top of it being Thanksgiving week. Last week, my husband and I were grandparents for the 7th time. Cade O'Neill Quinlan was born in Fort Worth, Texas. Thank you. Good news. Proud parents are Tim and Ashley Quinlan, so we went out there this past weekend to see the baby, and wonderful things, and happy Thanksgiving to all.
Thank you. Congratulations
Thanks.
to the whole Quinlan clan.
Thanks.
All 48,000 of them in Oakland. Okay. Item 24 on our agenda tonight is the village president's report. I would like to congratulate the Mount Zion Evangelical Lutheran Church on their 100-year anniversary in Oak Lawn. They had a wonderful banquet last weekend. I was privileged to be there, and I wish them all the best for the next 100 years. I want to congratulate our new Arts Commission as they start their journey towards making Oak Lawn a force to be reckoned with in the art world. I have nothing but praise and excitement when you saw the whole group together in the room and all their ideas flowing. They're going to do wonderful things. It's a very exciting time. Santa on the Green. I just want to give a few details not filled in already. This is an event this Saturday, November 29th. It's one of the best festivals we have in the village of Oak Lawn. It's from 12 noon to 3 o'clock. Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, and Frosty form a mini parade from Village Hall, and this is with our police and fire departments, and they go to the gazebo, and Santa hears requests. Everyone's invited to bring their camera. The carolers will be there from 1 to 1:30. Free cookies and eggnog. There's, for the first time, a holiday trolley. This is from the Chamber of Commerce. It's going to leave every 15 minutes from the Patriot Station, Metro Station parking facility and come through to the Village Green. There is a Shop Oak Lawn kickoff party concurrently at the same time. So families at the Patriot Station, there's a lot to do there. The Chamber wants everyone to know what a great shopping destination our town is. So the Small Business Saturday Shop Oak Lawn kickoff party is the same time. They're starting at 11 to 3. This is a free family event. There's music, food, and fun there as well. The trolley rides are every 15 minutes, and Elsa and Anna will be there to take pictures with everyone who wants one and to say hello from 11:30 to 1:30. So the Chamber of Commerce says shop small, shop local, come to Santa on the Green. And with that, I just want to reiterate what everyone else said, how thankful we all are to be in such a wonderful community. Our volunteers, our staff, and everyone just wants to go home, so I'm going to wrap it up. With that, I'd like a motion to adjourn. Properly moved by Trustee Olenichek, seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Let's take the vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We are adjourned.